Hey everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Hotness. Today's How to Cook Like a Monster, episode 3. We're just gearing up for summer and tank top season. And today we're going to be doing a vegan meal. We're going to be doing beet burgers, vegetarian vegan coleslaw, and then a parsley kale berry smoothie. I know it sounds a little crazy, but bear with me, it's going to be really good. Yeah, and we're excited to do a full meal today for the first time. So yeah, let's do it. So before you do anything for these beet, brown rice, quinoa, lentil burgers, you want to roast the beets. You want to get about 4 really decent sized beets from your local grocer, and you're going to want to roast them for about an hour and 15 minutes, 400 degrees with a little olive oil, nothing else, no salt or pepper. And then you're going to want to cook your brown rice, let it cool, cook your quinoa, let it cool, and then have your lentils and let them cool. And then we're going to throw it all in the food processor. We're going to start with the beets. So we shredded up our beets with the shredder attachment, and then you're going to want to change your blade in the food processor. And then we're going to add our 1 cup of lentils. They're already cooked and cooled. And then we have 1 1/4 cup of brown rice and then 1/2 cup of quinoa. The recipe just calls for brown rice. I like quinoa. It's really healthy, really good plant protein. I'm going to put that in there. And then we diced up 3 tablespoons of onion, and then 4 cloves of garlic. You want to mince it all up really good. Throw it in the food processor. Turn it on. Here we go. So for the last step, doesn't really call for it in the recipe, but I love a little heat in the food that I eat, and I like to make it a little bit spicy. So we're going to take 1 jalapeno, we cored it, took the seeds out. We're going to drop it in there and turn it back on. So you know it's ready when it starts to be the consistency of about ground meat, hamburger meat. So now we're going to add our dry ingredients. We're going to do a teaspoon of dry mustard. We're going to eyeball about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Same thing with the salt. You want about 1/2 teaspoon. And you want 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. Today we're using gluten-free tortilla breadcrumbs that I found. A heaping spoonful, about the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of almond butter. I got creamy, unsalted this time from Trader Joe's. We chopped up some fennel seeds. You want about a teaspoon's worth. And then you want a teaspoon of thyme that we chopped up. We got fresh thyme from the grocer. So now we got to get in there with our hands, and we're going to mix it all together. You really want to get in there and take your time. You want everything to be mixed fully and completely. That way you get all the flavor across the board. So once it's all mixed, we got to put it in the fridge for half an hour to chill before we form the patties. So continuing to ride the wave of our vegan meal that we're making, we're going to do a vegan coleslaw. Basically going to throw the carrots, which we peeled and chopped, green cabbage. You want 1/2 head of green cabbage and 1/2 head of the red cabbage. And then you're just going to turn it on, shove it all in there and go. Now that we've shredded all our ingredients, dump everything into a mixing bowl. So we're going to take our vegan mayonnaise, and we're going to eyeball about a cup in there. And then you want our tofu sour cream. You want about 1/2 cup. And then you want 1/3 cup of white vinegar. And then you need a teaspoon of celery salt, a teaspoon of dry mustard again, like we used in the burgers, a teaspoon of pepper. You're going to eyeball a teaspoon of salt. We mixed everything together, and now we're going to pour it over the coleslaw. And just like with the maple honey mixture and the granola, you don't want to miss a drop when you're pouring this over our coleslaw. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch episode 2. And we're just going to eyeball about a cup of raisins. I like the seedless raisins that you can get at Trader Joe's. Gives it a little fruity taste to the coleslaw. Really good for our summer meal that we're preparing. So we chilled our beet burger mix. And you want about 1/2 cup's worth for each patty. And then you're just going to basically form them with your hand. And then we're going to grill them right on the stove. If you don't have one of these, I definitely highly recommend getting this all clad. Heat it up, let it get a little bit hot, spray on the olive oil, and get it going. So you want to have them on there for about 5 minutes, keeping an eye on them. And the point is to get a really good char on each side of the burgers. I'm going to flip them over for another 5. So the burgers have been cooking for about 12 minutes. We're going to take them off and we're going to start to plate our meal. So we're going to dress up our burger. These look amazing. Got a little sliced tomato. We have some fresh kale leaves. And I like to put the mustard right on the burger. Then we're going to plate up our coleslaw. This is In the Kitchen with Hotness, making history right now. Making a full meal. Then we're going to do our parsley kale berry smoothie real quick. And then we're going to eat. I'm going to start off with about half a bunch. I already separated it out. Stems, leaves, everything. You get 4 leaves of kale and make sure you take the rib part out of it. Get it in there. And pour your cup of water on top. Then you got a cup of frozen berries. I got organic raspberries today. You can use any kind of organic berry you want. Blueberries, strawberries. We're going to add a banana. You're going to eyeball about a tablespoon of flaxseed. Make sure it's ground flaxseed. And then turn on your blender and go. Alright. Now the magazine, it looks pretty green. Here it looks kind of reddish green. And our meal is ready to go. So let's eat. Moment of truth. It looks so good. You can really get all the taste from the vegetables. And so fresh. I'm using a gluten-free bun. Let's get some coleslaw. So good. And then to wash it all down, we have our little smoothie here. Tastes really good. I know it looks a little scary. Try it out, see what you think. I was also thinking about throwing some chia seeds in there. One of my devoted fans from How to Cook Like a Monster in the Kitchen with Hotness suggested that. And so, yeah. So you've just been in the Kitchen with Hotness. And this is episode 4. We just made a meal. Vegan, fresh vegetables, healthy, all organic. I hope you enjoy. See you soon.